What's going on, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be diving into Batman the Detective, issue number 1. Now, this story is written by Tom Taylor, pencils are by Andy Kubert, inks are by Andy Kubert as well, and colored by Brad Anderson. Now, if you didn't check out the Joker or Batman Urban Legends, go check out those videos. We posted them a little bit earlier today. You're definitely going to want to get caught up on everything that's been going on in the Infinite Frontier line. Now, with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so this story starts us on a plane. A plane that's flying 36,000 feet above England. Now, this flight is Wayne Airlines Flight 89, and there is 147 passengers on board this flight. And as the stewardess gets her count, we see her put on a parachute and throw on a mask that looks almost identical to Batman, but it is pure white. And in that same instance, we see an explosion come from the cockpit of this airplane. And in all of this panic, we see multiple individuals putting on masks that look identical to Batman's and trying to make their escape. This is all a plan. This is all set up by somebody. But before they're able to make their escape, we see the arrival of Night. And she comes in just kicking some butt and letting these guys know that they're not getting away with it. Now, realizing the plane's going down, they don't want to have to do a fight here. They grab her foot and they jump out. And we see as they fall, she grabs onto one of these individuals as they let their parachute go. But they continue to fall and they hit pretty freaking hard on the ground. It doesn't look like anybody could have really survived that. And this is when one of the individuals walks up to her with a pistol in hand and tells her that this is about equilibrium. And then the plane crashes and we see on the building graffiti written Batman 147. And then we're taken over to the Batcave and we see Batman really brooding with himself, trying to figure out what his best option here is. You know, he's been fighting for Gotham for so long, but what changes has he really made? What good has he truly done? You know, he spent a lifetime fighting crime, living by an oath, going on this crusade. The only real difference he's made is the people that he's helped directly. You know, crime hasn't stopped. His city definitely isn't safer. So in the harsh reality of things, he hasn't made Gotham a better place. And now Alfred's gone. His entire family is gone. And so who is he? Who is he without all of these people that surround him? And now he's getting word that a plane far away from this city has crashed. And the crime scene has his name literally written all over it. So he asks himself, what is keeping him here? Because there's no future. There's only memories. This manor, so excessively big, there's no reason for him to stay. In this house, in this city, he feels like he needs to get a break. And this is where it's time for the Bat to leave the cave. Maybe even forever. And we see Bruce Wayne with suitcases leaving the Wayne Manor and picking up in Landshire. Now, Batman recognizes this place because Alfred had brought him here when he was about 13 years old. And ever since he arrived, he's felt a really strange and cold chill coming over. And he gets this feeling that he's not alone. And so he calls out to the individual. And there's someone hiding behind a wall. That somebody being Squire. Now they start having a little bit of conversations on where Night is. Because right now she's unconscious. She just fell from a freaking plane, but she's recovering. And Batman lets Squire know, alright, well, I will have a lot of questions for her. But right now I have to set up this kind of forensic scan. And he sets up this pole that does a scan of the entire area for footprints, fibers, fingerprints, hairs, DNA, anything you could think of, it's going to be there. And this is when he pulls out some gloves that he got from John Constantine after John Constantine won them in a poker match against a demon. Now Squire, she thinks, what are you doing? Why are you putting some gloves on? Like, are you cold? Like, what's your problem? But this is when we see the arrival of the Gentleman Ghost. And Gentleman Ghost, he feeds on fear. That's his main thing. That's what he does. And right now, there was a ton of fear because of all the people that had died here. And this is where we see Gentleman Ghost reach his fist into Batman's chest and find where his fear is. His fear of failure, of letting people down, of letting those he loves and care about die. And he goes to feast on this, but this is when Batman grabs him using these super awesome gloves. And Gentleman Ghost, he's thrown off. He's like, what the crap? Like, how are you doing this? And Batman goes to beat the crap out of Gentleman Ghost. And with Gentleman Ghost getting wrung through the ringer, Batman beats him to a pulp and the spirit ends up flying off and going in another direction. And Squire is left sitting there like, holy crap, dude, you just beat up a freaking dead man. Now, this is when we're taken to Tower Hospital in London, and Batman is meeting up with Knight. Now, obviously, Batman, he's not here for pleasantries. He's here to ask questions. He's here to figure out exactly what's going on. And this is where she tells Batman, they said it was something about him and equilibrium. Now, Batman's not 100% sure on what's happening, but he does have his suspicions. And he'll know for certain when the computer is finished doing its cross-referencing with the passenger list of other DNA. And this is when the computer goes off. The AI has detected some hostiles inside the hospital making their way towards Knight because they've come to finish her off. Come to take care of her. And this is where we see these Batman wannabes come pouring through the hallway, and they're stopped mid in their tracks by Squire. Now, Squire, she's heartless, but at the end of the day, these guys could easily take her on. But they don't know that Batman is freaking here. And this is when all hell breaks loose. They start opening fire, and Batman starts beating some imposter butt. And he's beating the crap out of these guys. They fly out of a window, and all the way down, he's beating the crap out of them, uses them as a cushion, but he's not the same guy he once was. He's an older man now. And so with this fall, he cracked a rib, he dislocated his shoulder, but he's better trained. He just has to be smarter and more efficient with his punches. He has to know when to make the right move, make the right attack. He needs to put these guys down, and he needs to do it quickly because they're going to have more energy than him. And this is where we see a speedboat approaching, probably their escape plan, and everybody's still trying to open fire on him, but he uses his cape and blocks it, and uses his grappling hook and grabs one of these guys before they're all able to make their escape. And this is where we see Batman show up in the window of the hospital room, grappling hook in hand as he's dangling one of these guys from the roof. Now, this is when the computer finishes up its scan, and he has an understanding of the passenger list because it's been cross-referenced with all of the database. Now, this is where Batman learns that all of this had been engineered. All passengers aboard the Gotham to London flight from all over the world, every one of them had at one point been rescued by Batman. And so the people who he's helped are getting taken out. Those small few individuals he feels like he's done something for, the people he's helped directly, somebody is targeting them. Someone is taking the lives that Batman has once saved. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this is a pretty cool story. It's taken Batman away from Gotham City, taking us to London, and giving us an opportunity to have some fun with some other characters like Squire and Knight. And so I'm on board for this. It's 6 issues, so it's not a whole lot of issues to commit to. I think it has some potential. I'm excited to see where it goes. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and until the next breakdown.